should brace themselves for tougher times ahead if the statements from government officials are anything to go by. Now, the statements and delay of salaries are raising questions on the real state of the Kenya Kwanza government and if at all it is in a crisis. Kenya Kwanza government economic advisor Devin D and Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and the latest Treasury CS Njuguna Ndung'u have all pointed at the situation, admitting it is a struggle. So, is the government in a crisis? Tonight, we take a look at just where we went wrong.
The government is not in crisis. It's just that the country is the one in crisis because we do not seem to have a driver on our seat.
It has been a subject of debate that has taken center stage in the country, with the government officials all hinting that the government is struggling to pay salaries. Public servants from the IEBC to the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation and also members of parliament are all waiting for salaries whose remittance day is not yet clear. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua says the revenue collected is not enough to serve debts and pay salaries, with late last week economic advisor to the President Devin D saying the cash crunch has forced them to prioritize important issues which include servicing of debts. But just how did we get here? We spoke to analyst Robin Karani.
I believe from the beginning they were not so sure of what they wanted to do. Now they have made 2-3 steps. The things that get to excite the crowd, they try to pump money in those things that entice the crowd and all that. But they have not been able to understand or master the ways and the workings of the government and how to deliver on their promises. So that is their biggest problem. They can be uprooting everything that was done by the previous, but you know, in some instances, if you actually had a plan, you would be uprooting and planting something that is worthwhile, and we would be waiting for that. But now as it stands, it seems to be a catch-up situation. We are wishing that we had a proactive government rather than a reactive government.
Blame has, however, been shifted, with those getting it being the former regime.
Well, now we have a government that reintroduced taxes on M-Pesa, on internet banking, so we were hoping they are collecting enough from this. And then all of a sudden, what is being claimed by the counties to pay salary is around 90 billion. What is being claimed by other state agencies around 200 billion. That means their collection of 2 months can actually fund all these institutions at a go.
Treasury requires about 50 billion monthly for civil servant salaries and another 8 billion for payment of pensions. Several staff working in ministries, departments and agencies have been affected by the delays, with most going for Easter holidays without pay. Recently, the opposition blamed the KRA for the lack of funds, accusing the taxman of diverting funds collected. In a letter, Minority Leader Opiyo Wandayi called for the audit of KRA. As of this evening, KRA released a statement clarifying the issue. The KRA said KRA has invested in modern technology which works efficiently as the revenue collection and settlement system from source to the exchequer. With this in place, there is no room for revenue diversion as strict surveillance plugs revenue loopholes. Year to date, KRA has kept pace with revenue collection compared to prior year's collection. As at close of March 2023, revenue collection averaged 95.1% of the original targets and 93.4% on supplementary targets. Falling short of revenue collection comes after restructuring at the taxman. Recently, President William Ruto made changes at KRA with the hope of driving in more revenue, something that seems to have been a miscalculation. The leadership of KRA is in shambles. In the past several weeks, Kenyans have seen circulars signed by the current chairman of the KRA Board of Directors, who is apparently making quite a number of technical and policy decisions on behalf of the authority. Decisions that are said to be a clear manifestation of attempts to usurp the powers of the Commissioner General and the Cabinet Secretary in charge of the National Treasury. Decisions being made at KRA are said to have led into panic among taxpayers and revenue officers, leading to questions on the way the government is allowing KRA to have a serious leadership vacuum. Meanwhile, the revenue officers cannot make technical decisions on matters that subjects on the chairman's circular for fear of reprisal. The implications are that a lot of revenue is locked up, awaiting the Commissioner General's nod. The CG, on the other hand, cannot make certain critical decisions without the express authority of the chairman. Rispa Simiyu is the acting Commissioner General following the exit of Mburu Gidi.